The acquisition of money is not bad or good, but merely a game to be played. Once you understand what principles govern the accumulation of wealth, you can then begin to plan what steps to take in order to control your financial future. Here are the laws of money. Number one, there are two ways to make money. The first is by working for money. The second is by making money work for you. The wise man does both. In his classic book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki told us that the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. They do this by buying assets and limiting the amount of money they spend on liabilities. An asset can be thought of as anything that puts money into your pocket, while a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. The mistake most people make is they buy liabilities but pretend they are assets. They think, well, I need this new iPhone because I have to make a lot of phone calls. Or they say, I need this new Rolex watch because it will make me look successful and that will help me earn more money. In reality, these type of superficial decisions never lead to more money. Once somebody spends their paycheck on one of these luxury items, it disappears, and then they have to spend more time working. Compare that with someone who understands the power of buying assets. They work hard for the money and then invest whatever they have into stocks, bonds, or real estate. Then over time, their money grows and brings back more money. They use their money like soldiers who go out into battle and capture more money for them. Then they strategically invest what they have at the most opportune times in order to multiply their gains. If you want to change your financial future, start buying assets and limit the amount of money you spend on liabilities. This one step alone can drastically alter your financial well-being. Number two, if you plan for every dollar, you will have more dollars to plan for. Every financial self-help book gives the same advice. Have a budget and live beneath your means. While this is as simple as it gets, how many people actually do this? For years and years, I had heard this time and time again, but never put any action behind this advice. I figured, I'm good with money because I pay my bills on time. But here's the deal though. Without a plan or a way to account for every dollar, you will have no clue where your money is actually going or how you are really doing. It's like trying to manage a football game without having any idea of what the score is. In I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Ramit Sethi lays out a very simple way to do this. First, calculate how much you spend on necessities like food, rent, transportation, and utilities each month. Next, automate your savings so that every month you are saving at least 10% of your income. Finally, you can use the remaining funds that you have to enjoy things like eating out or spending time with friends or buying some items you wanted to purchase. Most people do the exact opposite though. They spend money on things they enjoy, then try to figure out how to pay their rent or other necessities, and then finally, on rare occasions, take whatever little extra money they have left over and decide to invest it. Make a plan that from this day forward, you will never live like this again. Take some time to figure out where your money is going each month. Cut out unneeded expenses and look for ways to reduce your spending each month. Then, set up a system for investing and saving. Finally, have the discipline and integrity to adhere to your plan no matter what. To get started in setting up your monthly budget, visit my website to download a free spreadsheet. Number 3, the shrewd investor avoids unwise debt while leveraging beneficial debt. For years and years, we've been told to avoid debt. But are there times when debt can actually be good? Accumulating large amounts of credit card debt is one of the quickest steps one can take to find themselves in a huge financial hole. As the monthly payments start to add up and the debt starts to increase, it soon begins to feel like an insurmountable hole. That's why it is never wise to use credit cards to buy things you cannot afford or to pay the minimum on your credit card balance each month. There are times, however, when using debt can be extremely beneficial. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to buy a rental property priced at $500,000, but you only had $200,000 in savings. One option would be to keep working and saving until you finally had enough money to buy the property outright with cash. However, a shrewd investor who understands real estate would be able to get this deal done without having to earn more money working. If you understand the math, there are times when the potential rental income on a property would far exceed the total expenses, even if you had a mortgage. For instance, if the monthly expenses such as taxes, insurance, and the mortgage payment came to around $1,000 a month, and you were receiving $1,500 a month in rental income, you would still profit $500 each month. While you would still have debt, this debt is actually a form of leverage that produces monthly cash flow. Unlike a credit card, which produces debt that takes money from you month after month, this good debt from your rental property provides a consistent stream of revenue each and every month. Over time, you could use that money to scale up and buy additional rental properties until you were financially free. These type of deals should only be attempted by those who have great experience investing. However, they are an important illustration as to the power of using debt to produce positive cash flow under certain conditions. Number 4, exploiting compound interest will yield enormous returns. Albert Einstein once remarked, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." To demonstrate the power of compound interest, let's take a look at two women who take drastically different investing paths. At 50 years old, Jane decides to start saving for retirement. She opens an account and deposits $50,000. She receives a 10% annual return, and by the time she is 70, has over $336,000. Jane used the power of compound interest to make her money grow. Even though she only initially invested $50,000, after 10 years, she is receiving interest on a much larger amount, as you can see from the chart. This is because she begins to receive interest on the interest as her account grows. Compound interest is pretty great, don't you think? To further demonstrate its power, let's take a look at another young lady who decides to prepare for her golden years, but make some radically different decisions. Sally decides to start investing early. She invests $5,000 at the age of 20 into a Roth IRA retirement account. She never adds any additional contributions. With a 10% average annual return by the age of 70, that initial $5,000 investment has grown to over $586,000. While this sounds impossible, this is the power of compound interest. The reason why the money grows so quickly is that each year Sally is receiving interest on a larger amount of money. You can see on the chart how Sally's account accelerates in value over time as her money grows. While Jane invests over 10 times as much as Sally, Sally comes out ahead because she let compound interest work for a longer period of time. Once you understand the power of compound interest, you can quickly understand how people's finances can spiral out of control through credit card debt. Each month, their debt is compounded, and the debt just keeps getting larger and larger. Conversely, you can quickly deduce how the rich get richer. They place their money in investments and their money starts to grow. They leave their investments to increase in value and allow the power of compound interest to benefit them as both their initial investments and their profits start to grow. It's time to start getting the magic of compound interest working for you. The best way to do this is to open up and invest in a Roth IRA from a young age. Using just an initial $5,000 investment into a simple index fund can make a huge difference in your financial future as long as you give your money the time it needs to grow. Number 5, money follows value. If you add value, money will find you. If you purchase undervalued assets, eventually the market will recognize your wisdom. Money at its core is a representation of value. The market determines what an item is worth, and in return, the suitable amount of money is exchanged. If someone adds value, money will flow to that person in proportion to the value they added. Simply put, if you can find a way to add value to people's lives, you will make money. And the more value you can add, the richer you will get. Take Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world. How did he get this way? Was it luck? Did the money fall through the ceiling into his lap? It's simple. He added massive value to people's lives. In the past, people would have to get into their car and drive to the mall to get the items they wanted. Now, they can simply visit Amazon.com, click on whatever they wish to purchase, and within 24 hours, it lands on their doorstep. Amazon added value to people's lives by making it easier for them to shop. In his quest to modernize the shopping experience, Bezos made himself a very wealthy man. The same thing goes with Elon Musk. He added massive value to society by totally changing the automobile industry. He created a car that is not only sporty and technologically advanced, but also environmentally friendly. Because he added so much value to the world, he has become a very wealthy individual. So you want to be rich? Add value to a community and the money will follow. And the larger the community you serve, the larger the amount of money that will flow to you. Adding value can mean making people laugh, or finding a way to entertain them, or it can be providing a solution to a problem that many people have. Likewise, if you understand when an asset is undervalued, you will reap huge rewards. This is how wise investors take advantage of recessions and bear markets. When there is blood in the street, it is easy to have fear. But remember, there is also massive opportunity at these times. If you can determine which assets are undervalued and selling at deep discounted prices, eventually you will be rewarded. The key to all of this is to understand value, to know when an asset is undervalued, and to find ways to add value to the lives of others. Money always follows value. It's the law. Number 6, if you understand the tax code, taxes become a set of guidelines and incentives to follow rather than an unfair punishment. I had a conversation with a salesperson the other day. He lives in New York City and is pulling in over 6 figures a year. He recently calculated that he's paying close to 50% of his income to taxes each year when you factor in local, federal, and state taxes. Combine that with the high costs of residing in New York City, and it's no wonder he feels it's so hard to get ahead. Compare that with someone else I know who recently sold an apartment building for close to $3 million. You want to know how much he paid in taxes? Zero. Zero, that's right. Because he used a 1031 exchange to use the profits to buy another property. Taxes are an inevitable event in our lives. There is simply no way to get around the law. But in that statement lies a $1 million concept. If you cannot get around the law, why not just follow it? Tax law is simply a set of incentives. The government is telling you what to do. For instance, if a new law was passed that gave tax breaks to those who installed solar panels on their homes, or for those who purchased electric vehicles, the government is sending a clear message to each and every citizen as to the behavior they want you to engage in. Likewise, if a long-term investor can pay a lower percentage in taxes than someone who earns their income through a traditional 9-to-5 job, why not devote more of your money to longer-term investing? The reason why there are more tax breaks for entrepreneurs is that the government wants to incentivize this behavior. They want innovators and inventors to go out and create products to better the lives of its citizens and to create jobs for the next generation of employees. The same thing goes with rental properties. The federal government incentivizes real estate investing because they need investors to provide housing. Without entrepreneurs starting businesses or real estate investors providing well-run properties, the government would be left with the enormous task of trying to employ and house millions of people. Another important aspect of tax code is to understand the benefits of various investing accounts. In terms of retirement, Setting up a Roth IRA allows someone to benefit from potentially tax-free growth. While the contributions will not be tax deductible like a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA can make a lot of sense if you are a younger person, since the gains in a Roth IRA will grow tax-free and there are no taxes upon withdrawals at the age of 59 and a half. Instead of being angry about paying taxes, why not begin to understand the tax code? Start a business so you can write off some expenses, or invest in real estate or the stock market over the long term to reduce how much you send to Uncle Sam each April. And most importantly, remember, a good accountant is worth his weight in gold and can literally save you thousands of dollars. Talk to a qualified accountant each year to make sure you are up to date with the current tax code and that you know the steps to take to better your financial situation. Number 7, profit from the time-money relationship. You've probably heard the phrase that time is money, and this is very true. Time has value and money always follows value. If you give up your valuable time, you will be compensated for it in terms of money and for how much value you added over that period of time. The simplest way to turn time into money is to look for interest-bearing opportunities. By locking away your money for a few months or even a few years in a bond, CD, or other vehicle, you can gain interest on the principal you invested. By planning out your time this way, you can exploit the time-money relationship to produce steady cash flow. Also, understand that your time must be spent in the most efficient way possible to produce the most money possible. Let's say that you spend an hour mowing your lawn. Sure, you save $80 by not hiring someone else to do the job, but what else could you have done with that hour? If you work in sales, what type of commission could you have earned? If you would have made $200 over that same 60 minutes, then it would have made more sense to just pay someone else to mow your lawn so you could work on your higher paying career. If you want to be rich, you need to develop a skill set that is both rare and highly sought after. For instance, working at a convenience store will only pay minimum wage because many people can compete for that job. However, if you have a very rare skill set or a set of knowledge that is highly sought after, you can charge extremely high prices for short periods of time. This is why lawyers who have specialized knowledge in a specific area of the law can charge such high hourly prices, because they have a skill set that is both rare and highly sought after. Their time is extremely valuable, and thus money always finds them. The most advanced way to exploit the time and money relationship is to leverage other people's time to further your vision. Take McDonald's as an example. The CEO of McDonald's doesn't personally cook each and every hamburger. Instead, he uses other people's time to make sure each store runs efficiently. He pays his employees an hourly wage, and in return, they each play a part in propelling the business forward. By using time in this manner, you leverage it and increase your opportunities for wealth. Number 8, mindset comes first. Money is a byproduct of mindset. Evander Holyfield is widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Over the course of his career, he amassed close to $250 million. By 2013, however, he had declared bankruptcy and lost his home through an auction sale. How did things turn so terribly wrong? While Holyfield was an expert at boxing, he did not have a money mindset. He did not know how to budget his money. He did not know how to have the discipline to invest. And he did not understand that a high income doesn't matter if you spend more than you take in. Holyfield's house had 21 bathrooms, 12 bedrooms, and a 350,000-gallon swimming pool. It even had its own bowling alley. His house was a huge liability, as it took around $1 million a year just to maintain it. While Holyfield did earn a large salary during his heyday as a boxer, that income dried up in his 40s as his drawing power started to decline. Though Holyfield's story is sad, it's actually quite common among athletes and lottery winners. The issue is not money, it is an issue of mindset. Money is and always will be a product of mindset. Even if you give someone a large sum of money, they won't be able to keep it if they don't have the right mindset. This is what Jim Rohn meant when he said, if someone hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire or you won't get to keep the money. UPS worker Theodore Johnson grew up in a middle-class family, and they respected the value of a dollar. He believed in hard work and saving and investing his money. He never made more than $14,000 a year, but made a point to keep his expenses as low as possible so that he could invest 20% of everything he owned. Over the course of his lifetime, he bought many shares of UPS stock, and by the time he turned 90, had accumulated a fortune of over $70 million. What was the difference between these two men? It's simple. It's all about mindset. Johnson had a mindset of respecting money and planning out his financial future. Although Holyfield earned drastically more than Johnson did, it was his inability to curb his spending that did him in. It's also important to take a look at your global beliefs around money. Thoughts like money doesn't grow on trees, or only greedy people make money, or using terms like the filthy rich, show your true beliefs around money. When you say things like this, you are training your subconscious mind to hate money. You are literally saying to the universe, I don't want money. Keep it away from me. Rich people don't have these types of beliefs about money. They don't worry about what other people are going to think of them. And they don't believe that money is the root of all evil. Those who are truly wealthy always have the same mindset. They budget their funds and look for strategic ways to invest the excess cash they have. They believe it is honorable to work hard and to make money. They believe making money is simply a game that has certain rules, and the better you get at playing the game, the more money you will rightfully accumulate. They look up to successful people and seek to emulate them. Simply put, your success around money comes down to one fact. It's not about money. It's about mindset. Develop the right mindset, and the money will take care of itself. Number 9, your most important investment is with whom you spend your time with. There used to be a meme about popular girls in high school who would tell other girls they couldn't sit with them. That's the way money is. It flows abundantly to some people and avoids others like the plague. We've all met people who constantly have money problems. They don't keep a budget, buy stuff they really don't need, and don't take the steps needed to increase their income. Conversely, we all know people who are great with money. They know about the latest industry trends and products. They study investing and always seem to make wise decisions with the money they have. Jim Rohn once remarked, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This is as true of a statement as you will ever get. There are billions of people in our world, but we will never get the chance to meet the vast majority of them. Thus, the people in our world are really those we spend the most time with. These people determine the conversations we have and the actions we take. Let's say your friends like to take it easy. They want to stay home and watch TV. If you hang out with people like this, they will criticize you for wanting to learn about investing, or call you a killjoy for not wanting to spend money on a Friday night. They'll pressure you to purchase things you really don't need, or attend expensive events that you really don't want to go to. Conversely, if you are with a group of entrepreneurs, they will share new ideas with you and open you up to experiences you would have never even considered. If you begin to think you are the smartest person in the room, then it's best to find another room. It's hard to get inspired hanging out with people who just want to watch Netflix or who complain about their life. Instead, make a massive change. Join an entrepreneur group, hire a mentor, or attend a self-help seminar such as Tony Robbins or the Landmark Forum. And one last thing, the person you will spend the most time with and the one who will have the biggest impact on your long-term financial future is your spouse. The topic that causes the most arguments among couples is money. If you find yourself in a situation where your spouse wants to spend money lavishly, you're going to be in a very difficult predicament financially. Instead, it's best to find someone who is truly aligned with your vision, someone who can be a partner that you can build a financial empire with. That's an investment that truly pays dividends.